Good evening.
Good evening, Peter. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there. There's a lot of viewers I've noticed already joining us tonight already, which is absolutely fantastic. Thanks for joining us. If you are joining us, please remember and share the show about. And oh, thank you very much, Brian. That's my wee tune there at the beginning. Remember and share us. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, and we have got some great guests tonight.
Something a little different tonight.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to?
This week, there's Ali Meek. This week I was up in Kenmore. I was piping at Kenmore Hotel, or for Kenmore Hotel, at the end of the. So Thursday was the end of the salmon season, the salmon fishing season. So they put on they've got a great tradition up there where you come in the dark on a boat, piping in the front of a boat, and you pipe under the bridge, and then you come to the back of the hotel where there's a little pier, and then you do a little bit of piping for the folk that were there, and then there was a firework display. So
right,
it was a really good, and then
do you pipe in the boat when it's moving?
Aye.
Oh, brilliant.
It's good. It's great. It looks great, actually. Sounds great. It's good.
Oh, fantastic.
Really good thing. So I was speaking to them. I do quite a lot of piping for them, and they said that, or I mentioned, because the Kenmore Hotel is the oldest inn in Scotland. A beautiful old thing. Yeah. And on the wall of the bar inside, Robert Burns himself has written a verse of one of his poems.
Okay.
And it's got a glass plate over it to protect it now, but it's quite a scene. But I was speaking to Gillian, and she said that we could do the show from there for we were talking about Burns, doing a Burns theme for Burns Week.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So she's going to let us do it from the hotel, which is quite exciting. So I'll learn that poem. I'll learn the poem, and I'll do the poem that day as well.
Yeah. Wonder if we could get Robbie himself on, Robbie Burns. That would be good.
Aye, we'll give it a go.
He'll be about somewhere, I'm sure of it.
Aye, I bet you.
That'd be good.
How was your week?
Have you been away camping as well?
Yeah, so I camped that night. It was a beautiful night. Beautiful Kenmore at this time of year with the trees turning. There wasn't a breath of wind. The water was just like a mirror.
Not a midgie to be seen.
Not a thing. A great time of year to camp.
Yeah. Because it's never good midges being about when you're in the kilt in the first place anyway.
No, they're quite off-putting.
It's quite difficult to stand there and play when there's one bite in the inside of your thigh somewhere.
Yeah, it's the top of the socks, the stockings. Oh, just
not good. There's Dick Hamilton then. Hi, Dick. Right, so so
you had a good week.
Aye, just quite quiet, because we're still in this kind of star where we can't. Hi, Jamie, man, where we can't really go very far or do very much. So, just been sitting playing some tunes. And you like my new shirt tonight?
It's quite fetching.
That was Grace gave me that one for my birthday.
There you go. That's lovely. It looks very
pink.
It suits you.
Pink. Very good. Yeah. So there we go. Listen, we've got three guests on tonight. We've got the first duo we've ever had on, which is wonderful. Yeah. Hello, someone from Sweden there.
Hi, Anna.
Brilliant. Yeah. So there's Mary and Orkney, always tuning in. And so we've got Gene Swanston tonight and John Robertson. And we're going to talk a lot about Highland dancing and Highland games, aren't we?
That's right.
And you're going to provide the musical interludes.
That's tonight. So I've got the big porridge cannons. I've got the big porridge cannons out tonight.
Yeah,
so.
big set of exhaust pipes there.
No.
And then second half of the show tonight, we've got an amazing accordion player from South Shields, Leonard Brown, coming on. And if you've never seen Leonard before, you got a treat coming your way because he's just fantastic. Amazing musician, amazing guy, great humour, everything. A good old round package.
So he's got a good party piece as well, I think.
You never know what he's going to do. It's one of these guys. But I resisted dressing up as something from Star Wars, like Sandy breaking the.
Did you see Sandy today?
Sandy was good today, wasn't he?
Oh, just
Toki's last show. So there we go. Anyway, so I'm going to the firing line first tonight. I thought I'd play a couple of 2/4 pipe marches. We have a lot of pipers tuning in. And the first tune I'm going to start with the John McClellan tune, The Cowl Gathering.
All right, aye.
Can I tie that in a wee bit with Gene coming on to speak about the Highland dancing? Because I think the World Championship, I'm not sure if it still is, but it used to be at Cowl. But I'm sure she'll put us right with that one. And the second tune, a tune for your neck of the woods for Perthshire, for Bill Black again, called the St Andrews Lynn Bride Bicentenary.
Ooh, a mouthful, eh?
So another pipe tune written on a 3-row button box.
Brilliant, eh?
So fantastic. So I'll play these for you, and then we'll come back and see what we're getting for there.
Take it away, Peter. Take it away.
All right. You're looking very smart with the tie on and all that again.
I've actually got the kilt on. I don't know if you'll be able to see.
Oh boy! Oh, look at that, folks! There you go. Flashy Ross's kilt tonight.
I'm kind of hiding
How's
it a little bit.
Oh boy!
Well, there's my finger. There you go. That's about it.
That's your finger. Yeah. And it was a very nice finger.
You're welcome.
Here we go. There we go. Oh, can't I hear you, Ross? Is your mic off?
There we go.
Oh.
Very well played. Well done.
Nice tunes.
Beautiful tunes, eh? I love the first tune.
Yeah.
It's a great tune.
Second one, I've never ever heard the second one played in the pipes. It would be nice to hear it in the pipes sometime.
Aye, you need to send me the music. I'll try it.
I will do. I will do. So we've got all this stuff to talk about tonight, and I'm really, really looking forward to it because it's tying in with a lot of the guests we've had before and everything. So, are you going to give us a wee tune before?
I'm going to play a couple of tunes for you. The dancing tunes and the two tunes that I really kind of learned this year, to be honest. The Liberton Boys Polka or pipe band, and that's a tune that they dance the Village Maid to. And the other tune that I'm going to play is called the Earl of Errol, which is also the name of a dance, and that's the tune that they play for that. So I'll do the Earl of Errol first, and then the Liberton Boys.
The Liberton Pipe Band is quite interesting because Bobby McLeod for the West Coast of Scotland, who also played the pipes and all that, they called said it was two tunes.
Well, it sounds a bit like that.
What was it? The Liberton Pipe Band and the Kilbury Ball.
All right.
And that was the two tunes, and I can't remember if it was the first two parts. It was Kilbury Ball, I think, and then the next, and then they ended up joined together because it all went so well together. So.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good couple of tunes. Well, they're just tunes that I've learned this year.
Brilliant.
For the dancing, so I thought.
Take it away.
Well, thank you.
Great stuff, sir. That was really nice. The Errol of Errol, the first tune.
The first tune, I just heard it this year.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with
it.
That. You know that. Yeah, fantastic. There was people, lots of folk joining in tonight online here from America, all over the place, Canada. Folks, if you think you know anybody at all that would enjoy something like this, lots of accordions, pipes, Scottish stories coming up, all about everything to do with the traditions of Scotland going to be happening tonight, really. So share this programme about for us. If you can, just hit that share button and we'll see what we can build it up to. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Ross, the first guest tonight, you know them very much better than I do. So
great friends,
over to you.
Friends, lovely folks. So welcome to the show. We're going to introduce Jean Swanson and her husband John Robertson from Logie 8. Hi, how you doing?
Hiya.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
You're both looking very suntanned. Is it warmer up the road where you are?
Weather beaten.
Weather beaten.
Your bio, Jane, that I've learned something about you that I never knew.
Oh dear.
You were in the Scottish volleyball team. I never knew that.
Did you not? Well, when I went to Murray House, I had been a swimmer up until then, when I left school. I used to swim front crawl and butterfly, and then I went to Murray House and suddenly introduced to this new game to Scotland that really just students at uni had been playing. And so I was right in at the start of the volleyball in Scotland, and I played up until John and I got married.
Right.
So I played 7 years or thereabouts in the Scottish team. So I enjoyed it.
And was it quite a new, as you said, it's a new sport to Scotland. It must have been a newish sort of sport everywhere.
No. It was just, Europe. They played it in Europe quite a lot. So it was Europeans coming over to Scotland and got them started.
Good stuff.
I really enjoyed the volleyball. There's a thing called the Island Games, and we had it here about 10 years ago. It's all island groups from all over the world.
Yes.
They get together, and the volleyball competitions. I had to pipe the final teams on for the finals. And I got right into it. I loved watching it. It was great.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I sort of keep in touch with the volleyball. I still keep in touch with people I played with in the national squad. We meet up from time to time. In fact, I saw a friend from the Black Isle just last week. And so we're in touch with each other. But I still have a wee look on the Scottish Volleyball Association website. And I see that the people in Shetland are doing really well with the volleyball.
I must confess, I much more enjoyed watching the women's game than the men. No, because of the skill, Ross. The skill.
No. Usually the women's game have longer rallies than the men's game. Yes.
Far more exciting because the men tended just to be pure power and hit it as hard as
Yes.
But that's the same. Like women's tennis is better to watch. Sometimes women's football is better to watch. There's more of a passing game. You know, it is.
Yeah.
So I can see your point.
And yet, Ross, when I was teaching, I had a student who came, and her lecturer was somebody that I had actually swum with. He was in the same coaching group as I was in, and he was a rugby player as well. And then one of my dancers had him as his tutor, and she had to do an essay on women versus men, how they're treated. So she came to ask me for my ideas. How was it when I was playing sport? Well, the men got everything. When the men went to Spring Cup and various places overseas, they got stuff paid for. But when the women went, we had to pay our own way. And we didn't get to nearly as many things as the men got to. And then remembering that he was there, I said, so you have to tell him to say men are not superior to women. And the reason for that was when we were swimming, I can remember this day at Glenogle Road Baths in Edinburgh. He was in the shower and he grabbed hold of my hair and he had me under the shower and he's saying, "Say after me, men are superior to women." And I wouldn't say it. Not at all. So I think I got my own back on him when he was a lecturer there.
Good for you.
Fantastic. Ross,
we wait to speak, both wait to speak at the same time. So Jean and Roberts, Jean and your husband John Robertson sitting beside you there. You're both sporty. You're famous for your athleticism as well, John, aren't you?
Yeah, I started out as a heavy and went on to be a runner and jumper. But I seemed to be quite attracted to the dancing board. There's something that was pulling my attention there. You've all got two left feet.
Aye. I can see that how that happened.
Yes.
But you're both heavily involved. This theme that I've had this month for the music's all been to do with Highland dancing and Highland games. And you guys are very, very involved in a lot of the Highland games, both for the dancing and running the heavies and the track event as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that must take up a lot of your time and effort through the summer, I guess.
Well, we've attended a lot of games, for 20 to 30 every summer. And Jean's been going a long, long time. Just after the war, she started. It could be another war tonight.
No, I competed for how many years? 41 years or something. Wow. I competed for. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
When I was reading up about you, I came across a photograph. I think it was at Pitlochry when you were on one of the websites, and there was yourself and there was a lady called Celia Orr there as well.
Yes. Celia and I had the same dance teacher in Edinburgh.
Right. Because Celia was, she has the dancing school in Lanark there, not far from where I came from when I was little. So that's when we grew up. It was always Celia Orr's dancing.
Yes.
It'll be a small world. But tell me, interestingly enough, when you're talking about the female males and sport there, in Highland dancing, it tends to be predominantly females, doesn't it, that's doing the dancing?
Yes, but it's male dancing, that's the thing. And it was only the men who got to compete at games. They had juveniles at games, they had youngsters, but they didn't allow women, adults, to compete at the games, even right to our own games at Pitlochry. I came up from Leith to Pitlochry and danced as a juvenile, but I didn't get to dance as an adult until 1970. And that's when they allowed men and women to dance against each other in the adult competition. And that was the same. Braemar was 1976 before they let women dance. So was Glen Isla. I think we had it just a year or two earlier at their Girlshire gathering. So it was always men. And then when the war came along, the women came more into their own, and there was Betty Jessamine from Huntly. She danced at Nairn Highland Games, but she entered as B. Jessamine, so she got to dance. But there was a lady had danced. I don't think she was as an adult as Betty was, but she got to dance a lot earlier than that. So after that, the women took over. Then set back, but it's male dancing. The kilt that we wear is a man's outfit. It's not a girl's. So, but they've now changed the top half that it doesn't look so manly. We no longer wear a sporran, no longer have flashes or big lace cuffs or big shabots and hats and feathers. Yeah. When I was wee, we used to just go. My mum and I would go on the tram actually, or the bus, and she was always buying me feathers for my hat, because every time I looked out the window, bang went another feather. We had to have a supply of feather for my Balmoral, but I'm glad to see we don't use them now.
Ross, have you got one of them?
I've got the cock feathers from a
the black cock feathers.
black cock feathers from a
Black
Glengarry.
tail. Yeah.
Black tail. That's it.
Yeah.
But they don't last long either. They don't last.
I have one of them somewhere because my father was a gamekeeper, so I got a natural one from Douglas and Angus Estate. One that died naturally, I should say.
All right, a natural one.
Yeah. Fantastic. So about the same time then, John, you were doing the heavy events, were you?
Oh, I started I was quite young. Started doing local heavy events and discovered I was a good runner and went on to do running events from Dunnes to Penrith. Loads of games. It was quite a good paying thing, though. No, that was a bit of action too.
I take it you've just seen that comment.
I'll have to tell you what the Baffies are about, and then I can come back to John again. In actual fact, 9 years ago this weekend, because it came up on my Facebook that this happened 9 years ago, a lot of Perthshire people went out to Schlersey, and we went to do Highland Games in Schlersey, and that was the funniest, strangest trip I've ever had.
Where is that?
Schlersey's in Bavaria. In Bavaria.
Right. Okay.
And it was a beautiful setting. Anyway, I was to collect, I don't know how many haggai, but Rory MacDonald will remember, had to go to the shop and he brought them to our bus. We're getting on at Fisher's and going down to the airport at Edinburgh to fly out. And as I'm getting on the bus, it suddenly dawned on me I had a pair of turquoise Baffies on. And I didn't have another pair of shoes. So I had to phone to John to bring my walking boots to the garage at Ballinluig. And so, but Rory's kept this up on me for years. Have you got your Baffies on today?
I'm not sure what the
It was a pair of rubber Crocs, turquoise ones.
I'm not sure what the translation for our American and Canadian friends is for Baffies.
Just we'll leave that as a game. We'll find out.
Yeah.
It might be something
anybody from
completely
America, smokes. That's fairly that. Anyway, sorry, John. You were telling me about this heavy events. I was interested to know how you trained for these heavy events.
Just practiced at home. Yeah.
Really? No training as such. Just got on with yourself.
Just got on with myself. Yeah.
Really? So what disciplines were you doing at that time then? Were you?
I was quite a good hammer thrower. I won a Scottish Championship under 23 in tossing the caber.
Okay. So it was you that kept throwing your hammer out towards the Highland dancers and how
I couldn't the hammer went through the dancing board, but it wasn't me that threw it. I couldn't throw it that far. It went through the dancing board when there was dancers on the board.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, just for all our listeners and things, a caber, tell them the dimensions, the weight of a caber, if you could roughly, so folk can.
Somewhere between 16 and 20 foot long and weighing from 100 to 150 pounds in weight.
Oh,
that's a lot.
It's not that heavy, it's the balance, trying to keep the balance of it. Yeah.
We danced in Sweden, and John came out with John Freeburn and Charlie Allen. Another year he was out
at Gotland,
which is an island off the east coast of Sweden, and they have Gutnick Highland Games, and they have this caber tossing called Stangstortning. But they tossed it for it was distance, wasn't it?
No, you had to lift it on your own.
You had to lift it on your own.
You had to keep your one hand on the end of it while you're lifting it, and you levered it back over your hip to try and get it up, it was the most difficult part of it. Mm-hmm. But they've had caber tossing as long as we have, hundreds of years. Yeah.
So do you think it was it the format of the Highland Games that made these things famous?
Oh, it's such a great thing, the Highland Games. It's not just a heavy, it's the whole thing. The music, the dancing, everything together. Mm-hmm. Such a great day out.
It is a great day out. It's hard. You're left with the Highland Games for ages. You can hear all the sounds and smells and stuff for hours after you've been to Highland Games. It's great.
We've attended all these hundreds of games and still we love going to them. Super.
That's one thing I've really missed this year is the Highland Games.
Yeah. We
But Jane,
did come.
you've managed to keep, you're a dancing teacher, and you've got a studio in Logarate with, I think you've got about 40 pupils, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you've managed to keep that going through the lockdown.
Yes, I did. Well, you'll know, I did 22 weeks straight with about 10 lessons a week on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Ross said I was a Zoom Jedi, but I didn't know what he meant. So I had to go and look it up to see if Jedi was a good thing or a bad thing. I think he meant it was a good thing. I taught on there, and sometimes dancers were freezing, and that was murder. Anyway, it kept us going. It was a godsend. And then I remembered something. When I was in Edinburgh, we used to have a Highland Pipers Club, where the pipers, it was held once a fortnight on a Monday, and the pipers went up the stairs and the dancers were downstairs from all different dance schools. And a piper came down and piped for us. And I thought that was a great idea, and that I might just try it with Ross. So on a Monday night, Ross piped from his wee hussy there, and kids, we had maybe 16 would dial in, and they did, I split them in two groups, beginners and premier. So the beginners did 5 dances, alternated with the premier doing 5 dances. And we kept that going for, I think, 18 weeks, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 45 minutes every Monday. It wasn't a teaching time, it was just dancing to the music. And some nights they dressed in their outfit, so they remembered what it felt like. But,
it was good. It was a great act. It was great for me, because it's different. It's a whole different thing to pipe for dancers. So
yeah,
it was a great thing.
Mm-hmm. It was fine.
I think it's good to keep that continuity going on, keeping people in the habit of doing something. So it's been great for that. The same way as teaching, we've had to do it that way, but at least we've managed to keep them going. If this had happened 40 years ago, I'm not sure what we'd have done, but it was kind of strange. But I think what's going to happen, Ross is going to give us a couple of tunes throughout this tonight just to break this up. Ladies and gentlemen out there, if you have got any questions you would possibly like to ask Jean and John, if you post them up when Ross is playing his tunes and things, and we can ask for you when we get back. And but no rude questions or awkward questions, nothing like that. Ross, have you got a tune up your sleeve for us?
I think we've been talking about the Highland Games and we've been talking about Highland dancing. So there's always a chieftain. In fact, John, you were a chieftain, I think, 2015 at Crieff. Is that right?
At Crieff, that's right, yeah.
So, and then the chieftain takes a salute. And all the pipe bands play a certain tune for the chieftain. It's usually Highland Laddie. And Highland Laddie is also a dance, Jean.
Yes.
So I'll play Highland Laddie, I think. And then I'll probably play the Black Bear as well. That's they go together quite nice.
Yes.
So go for it. Do you notice he's the only one that's putting earplugs on?
Yeah.
I hate the pipes.
Right, we'll see. Take it away. We'll see you in a minute.
Okay. It's a good one.
What have you done with John?
The dog was needing out. He's back in again.
I'm back.
So, wait a minute, we've lost John already. Folks, that's absolutely brilliant. Just if you're watching it back out there, folks, and you're wanting to know anything, see along the bottom there, www.athledancing.co.uk. Jean, that's your website. And the other one, the rsbhd.net, that is...
RSOBHD, that's the governing body for Highland dancing worldwide.
Okay.
Scottish Official Board of Highland Dancing.
So if you're looking up stuff there, folks, you could go on and have a look at that as well. And, Ross, have you got questions all prepared here? Nice awkward ones for this.
Got a really awkward one. No, I don't have anything. But just have you got a favourite, Jean? Was there a dance that was your speciality, or you had a particular success with, or like teaching?
Irish jig.
Oh. I enjoyed the Irish jig.
She was great at the Irish jig.
I got quite a lot of prizes for Highland fling, funnily enough. But no, jig was my favourite, jig and hornpipe. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a story about Durness. I think something came up about cold in Durness, was it? It was always windy in Durness. And this particular day, there was a gale blowing it's right on the cliff edge. And so this wind is coming off the sea, and we're dancing a reel. So there's 4 of us. And I was dancing in first. And the dancer I was trying to dance into, I couldn't move. I was on the spot, going like this against the wind. And she was coming into me at a great rate of knots, shouting, "Catch me, catch me." And each other in the middle. Oh dear. Some of the stories from Durness were just...
I'm gonna add to that about the weather at Durness. Somebody was looking for their toilets, and we said, "They're just over there." "We're over there." They disappeared. The wind had blown them away. There was only 2 chairs with their lids missing.
It's a beautiful place up there, though. Lovely
it's
place.
gorgeous.
I mind going down into the smooth caves with the pipes once and having a tune there. It was good. Can I ask you both, you progressed from performing and winning a lot of stuff, and then you went into judging as well, didn't you, both of you?
Yeah.
How's that go? Is that an interesting one?
A thankless job. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So if we take it and say the Highland dancing first, Jean, what are you looking for? If you break
what are we looking for? Well, we judge on 3 things. Technique is 80% of your mark. Okay. And timing is 10%, and your deportment is 10%. So that's what we base everything on. So the bulk of it is on how good your technique is, not how flash you look when you're dancing. Yeah. You got to have the technique first, and then the performance on top of that.
Okay. So, it's a huge setup when you see the dancers. Because they're probably one of the first people at the Highland Games, I think. Mm-hmm. And you see all these wee tiny kids, and the parents turn up, and they've got basically big trolleys and pulleys and all sorts of equipment, wee tents to get changed in, and about 5 or 6, 7 different costumes. It's serious stuff. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes do some of the mums take it more serious than the children sometimes, I think?
Yeah, sometimes. Yes. I have to be honest. Yes.
But that happens everywhere.
We don't have that problem in heavies.
Really, it's amazing the numbers, though, isn't it? The actual numbers.
Oh, it's huge numbers dance. And Canada has got masses. Yeah. Yes, I mean, when they have their Canadian championships, they have 1,000 competitors, 1,000 dancers there. Wow. It's just incredible.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And they take it to another level out there, the Highland dancing. I heard a story that out there they've got like physios and all sorts of,
there's some people here use physios every week as well.
Yeah.
Not in my day.
She
You
was.
just had your warm up and you got up and you danced in the rain. You had sawdust. The midges could be biting through your socks, but the sawdust could be sticking through your socks as well. And we just danced. Rain running off into your kilt. But I see somebody, Dick Hamilton, there saying about Jeff Capes and the heavies.
Oh gosh, I think about Jeff.
Well, I went to Nigeria with Jeff Capes.
Does John know?
I know him. Yes. Good friends with Jeff.
I remember seeing Jeff Capes when I was wee. He was at Aberfeldy, at the Aberfeldy show. I can remember.
Yes.
I've got my photo with him. I've got my photo with him somewhere. I think it was at Cowell games. I think he was at Cowell one year, and we were up with the big man.
I don't think so. Don't think he was be at Cowell.
You know, I've got a photo somewhere with him then.
Yeah.
We came up to Shetland one time, but I don't think Jeff Capes was there in the 80s. We came up to Bray Highland games.
All right, Bray Highland games.
Yes, Bray in the early 1980s. And Bill Anderson was there. I can remember that. There was just another dancer myself.
That must have fallen by because I've been here 25 years now and there's never been anything like that.
Well, we went in a chartered plane from Aberdeen. Yeah. And there were 2 tug-of-war teams and there were heavies and there was the Grampian Police Pipe Band.
All right.
And 4 of the Grampian Police Pipe Band weren't allowed on the flight. And they're saying, but there are empty seats. And they went, no, but we're too heavy. No. so the plane, the heavies and the, tug-of-war men were all very big men. Yeah. So the wee plane, and when we were coming away from there, I can remember the heavies shouting, come on, lads, off-lap your arms now and we'll take off. And we just took off before we got to the sea. And it was like a wee budgie.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's an interesting. I've had some interesting flights landing at Shetland sometimes.
Yeah.
The sideways on ones are always a bit entertaining.
Yes, that was us.
But yeah, you mentioned that's John's got to tell you there, the tug of war. That's fierce. That's fierce. These guys are fierce.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I said to Ross before about this once, but going down to Tarland show once, and with a Yarrow squad and the Vikings, and we entered the tug of war thinking this was a fun thing, and all these farmers turned up with, oh man, they're serious gear. They've got boots made out of metal and all sorts of things.
And it can go on. You can be in deadlock for ages on the tug of war. A tug of war is actually a great spectacle, And
we weren't. We weren't in deadlock.
But in May at the Blair Athol Highland Games, or the Athol Gathering, the Athol Highlanders have a tug of war competition, and it's the pipe band versus the soldiers. And I can't remember, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I thought that'd be a good idea to put my weight into the pipe band end. And we had a good deadlock. We were pulling for quite a while, actually. And then I'll never, ever do that. I've never, ever done the tug of war again since then, because straight after the tug of war, I had to go and pipe for the Highland dancers. And my hands, I couldn't feel a thing. There was all tar in my fingers from the rope. And I couldn't feel a thing on the chanter after it. So lesson learned there.
I'm going to use that excuse from now on.
We went to Crieff one year and John did running, jumping, heavies, wrestling. I think the only thing he do was the tug of war.
But John, you were running successfully and what I was going to say an old age, but that's rude to say that. But you've spent a lot of years.
Yeah, I was still quite good when I was 50.
Because you've got a record, or did you win? What was it, the Scottish Champions?
That's right, in the Scottish Veterans Championship.
When it was I'm going to say when it was the Highlands, John used to lie on his back when you're facing Where was your head to
That was
the?
there.
It was there. You did that there as well. And then when the cannon went, he got up and he ran. that was when he was running quite well.
But you, at 50 years old, you were running the 100 meters at 12 seconds, 12.2 or something.
That's right. When I was 50, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't have done that when I was 20.
Take me about an hour. An hour for me.
But my big event was the Powder Hall Sprint in Edinburgh, which was always held on New Year's Day. And it was a big money event, a big gambling event, which has almost died a death now. It was a big worldwide known event where they competed for big prize money, and it was all about gambling. Yeah. So I was away at Ashington, near Newcastle, training for this for 5 weeks. And any time I was out of the house, I had to wear a balaclava going across the front, so nobody would notice. Nobody would know me down there. As if they would know me in Ashington. But the people who were sponsoring me were getting great odds on me because I was a complete unknown. And I finished third in the final. But
so you did well.
But even by winning my heat, they made enough money to pay all the costs with the gambling.
Because the Highland Games, I know for pipers in the old days, like the Highland Games circuit was a right money maker. You know, if you were a successful piper.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Is that the same for dancing, Jean?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading something about a message that came up. Sorry, would you want to say that again to me, Ross?
It would have been a week's wages at least.
Oh, yes.
First prize.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the Highland Games
we were getting £10 for the dancing. We were getting £10 a first way back in the 70s. And that was a big lot of money. Mm-hmm. That was a big amount of money.
Is there much prize money and stuff like that now? No, not really.
There's still quite good prize money. Bramara's about the biggest prize money that they're getting. And I can't remember it. Are we at £80?
Around about £70, £80 a first.
Something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it's about that. Mm-hmm. And at Pitlochry, I can't remember what we're given at Pitlochry. We're around about.
You can buy a few haggis suppers for £80.
Yeah.
Get some new buffets, Jean.
I think so.
Ross, we're firing through time here already. You want to play a quick tune and then we'll speak to these folk before they go?
Yep, no problem. Yep. So,
what are we getting this time?
Well, John mentioned that his favourite or Jean's favourite dance was the jig.
Right.
So I think I'll just play the hornpipe and the jig. and the jig. I'll do the hornpipe and the jig.
Oh, I thought you were just going to do the hornpipe there just out of badness.
No, I wouldn't do that. So I'll play the Crossing the Minch and the Rakes of Kildare.
Brilliant.
Oh, two favourites.
Take it away.
Mm-hmm. Enjoyed that, Ross.
Right, right.
Ross, your grace notes were coming out over clear as a bell there. They were sounding lovely.
Could you see my chanter?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Could you?
You could. It was very, very good.
Thank you very much. That was lovely.
Jean, just before, I don't know if you saw a comment coming up there. There was somebody said, "Is that Jean? That was my dance teacher 30 years ago." You're going to get a lot of people saying things. There was another young lass got in touch with. She was actually a guest on the show with us about a month ago. A girl called Lindsay Weir. She plays the accordion.
Oh yes.
And Lindsay was on. And when we advertised this week, she sent a message in and said, "Gosh," she says, "Jean used to judge me at Highland dancing competitions." Lindsay was for Colboki up in New York.
Yeah.
And she said she judged me loads of times. And so it was quite interesting. So, and I love that the way music and dancing always ties in with each
together. Raymond Jappy. I'm sure Raymond Jappy did Highland dancing as well.
Really? Right.
You know, Raymond Jappy, I'm sure, because I run a festival, and did he have blonde hair when he was a young boy? I'm sure that's what I have in my head. I must find out about it. I'm sure it's one and the same.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, folks, unfortunately, we're kind of running out of time. I think we should have had you on for the whole show. Ross, this has been a fantastic idea.
Yeah, a great company, and just thanks very much for coming on the show. It's been great to hear all these stories and find out stuff that you don't know, even you're just along the road from me, but you always find out stuff.
Okay, thanks for asking us.
I think we could have had you on the whole show. It would have been fantastic. But
you still ask him about his shoes.
No, ask me about my teeth.
I'll not mention the teeth, but mind and let the dog back in though.
I'm going to tell you a story about the teeth.
Go on.
Tobermory Games one year, and there's a well-known character over there, Skinny McGilvery from Lismore. Paul's teeth fell out when he was running the mile. And after the teeth came out, he took off and he won the mile.
I once heard the story about Peary Willie and Tom Anderson on tour somewhere abroad in America, and they were driving up one of these huge, big, long highways, and one of them said to the other, "I've heard if you take your teeth out, you're not a warm." So they said, "Is that true?" So they both got their teeth out, and they both had their false teeth sitting on the dashboard of the car driving up this motorway. And when they got to the gig, Peary Willie grabbed the set and put them in. They went, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not my ones." So, wrong teeth.
That's him.
So there we go. Borrowed teeth. Oh, there's somebody saying, "Yep, Raymond danced."
Oh, yeah. I know who Vivian Mcintosh is too. Yes, yeah. I'm sure it was him. Wee boy, I can picture him dancing. Blonde hair.
It's so nice. Everybody's fair enjoyed this tonight. I think we'll have to do this again sometime again, folks.
Definitely.
This keeps going all night. We've got another guest coming on that's waiting down in South Shields for us tonight, Leonard Brown. So we're going to get Leonard on in a wee while. But thank you so much for joining us. Great idea, Ross. What a brilliant idea.
My only one that I've had this year.
Yeah.
and last year actually.
No, I wasn't.
No, you've been a cracking couple of guests, and these stories are great. There's all these like Highland games. There's a lot about the Highland games that a lot of people don't know, so it was great to get a bit of insight. And Skinny McGilvery from Lismore is definitely a pipe tune name if I've ever heard one.
Oh, that's magic. That's magic.
So skinny now.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Stay safe.
See you later.
Stay safe. Take care.
Have a good week. See you later. See you guys.
Oh wow, gosh, what fantastic people!
Aye, good crack, eh?
I think you could listen to their stories all night.
Aye, and then a couple of really good stories, and there's loads that they've not. Like John, I don't know how old he was, but he had the record at Crieff Games, the high jump, 6'1".
Wow!
And that lasted a long time. I think he competed for 41 years at Crieff Highland Games.
Absolutely.
That's a record. Aye, great.
Really good.
A prize-winning farmer as well. He's got successful cattle.
A
winner at the Royal Highland Show. I was wondering if he'd go in auction mode and start selling cows on the internet. But
Gee whiz, we'll have to get them back on for a part 2 to that one.
I think so.
We've got another guest waiting, so we're going to go straight in here, and we've got Mr. Leonard Brown in South Shields, hopefully. Hello, Leonard. You all right, boy?
Very well. How are you?
Very good, very good. I think I don't think you have to on the internet. I think it's okay.
Yeah, well, I've got the mask on because this is part of my new vocation as a ventriloquist.
All right.
I have to say it's going very, very well at the moment. Very well. And if I could say, I probably am the best ventriloquist in South Shields, if I do say so myself. And is that a little bit better?
There you go.
Very good. How are you getting on?
Aye, not too bad. Well, you see, I was wearing the mask because you've asked me to play a few tunes later on, and I've got the music written on here. If you see,
Aye.
so I'm looking at in the mirror. You see, so I would have just played. It just saves putting the music stand up, but you know.
That's very technical. I'm sure you can remember a few things without the music somehow.
They'll come back to me. I'll get back to you on that one.
How are you getting on? This is an exceptionally strange time for musicians like yourself. You're a full-time musician. You're a promoter. Your whole business is music. This has been tough.
Very tough, as for many musicians, and I'm obviously not the only one of thousands across the country, and I think it's absolutely wonderful, you know, that we've got little outlets like this across the country who are putting themselves out there and sort of promoting musicians, and it really is kind of you to ask me onto this show. It has been a tough few months, but hopefully
it's an honour to have you on. And what, as you say, one of the things that Rose and I started this for was to help promote musicians, help guys promote their merchandise, whatever they can, and also just to get people on to let them see that musicians are just ordinary people like the rest of us, you know.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
But well, you know, sort of follow the arts and all that. What is it? Yeah, we're not always treated the same, though.
Well, if you look at Richie Sunak's 20%, we're not treated the same, but we'll say no more about that.
No. Well, that's right. But it's a tough one. It's a kind of strange one. It's a strange one. So you've been up to a few things through all this lockdown, though. You've been, no doubt, I know you very well. You have been planning stuff, I'm sure. You've been recording.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very hard to plan anything into the future, as you know.
Yeah.
But I already had it scheduled a CD, and I had an idea to do something, and then obviously lockdown happened, and I started doing online performances, and that sort of took off. Got a lot of lovely support from everybody, and a lot of new support. I think I doubled the amount of likes I had on the page, people following it within the time that we've been in lockdown. So that was, I think we had maybe 1,200, and then it went up to 2,500, you know, which was great. And started doing different lockdown performances, getting dressed up, going all around different countries, all from this room, of course. And it was really well received. So what I did is I changed my plan of the CD, and I whittled down all the requests that people brought in over those few months that I did the performances, and came up with 26 tracks of music over 2 CDs. So
really?
It was safer to do so when the restrictions were lifted somewhat, because there's only 5 of us in the band. We were allowed to go in and record in a professional studio, Castle Sound Studios, and we have produced our latest album, which is going very well, and I'll just show you it there.
There it is.
Requested
Fantastic.
by you.
Yeah. And that's available on your website.
Yep.
Which is now at the bottom of the screen, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, this show is recorded and it'll be shared about all over the place after. So don't worry about pens and papers or nothing. You can just watch the show again and see it. But
John
Leonard Brown
Robertson,
accordion.
John Robertson, that was just on before Jean's husband. You're actually his favourite accordionist. He's right into Scottish music, so that was a coincidence when we found that out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really nice to hear that.
Of course, just giving folk a wee bit of history on you, Leonard, because a lot of folk don't know you're in South Shields.
Yeah.
You were a pianist originally. I think I first knew you when I heard about you. Somebody said there was this lad that played the piano very well, and he's taken up the accordion. He's pretty good, you know. And I said, "Oh, right." So, and this was yourself, and but you done right up to grade 8, didn't you, in piano first?
Yeah, that's right.
And then, were you an Irish dancer too?
I was. Obviously, I haven't got enough room to show you.
No, that's the
quite
excuse.
fortunate on my
Ross uses this excuse every week as well. He can do Highland dancing, but he's never got enough room either. So.
Yeah.
So, and then you took up the box.
I took up the box, after Irish dancing for 4 years. I took up the accordion, and the dancing teacher's sister, Sheena, she played the accordion, and she taught me how to play the left hand of the accordion for the first few months. And I took what I already had on the right hand side on the piano, and I just turned it round. And then it was just trying to get the bellows working, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the draw to that? Was it through the teacher that the draw to the accordion?
The draw to the accordion was actually Seamus O'Sullivan. He was one of the accordionists who played for the dancing. So every fesh that we went to, and there was many feshes, Seamus O'Sullivan would be one of 3 accordionists playing, and I used to always go past, and a lot of others did that as well, and they used to say, "Can you play the Glasgow Reel for us?" And that was the tune of the day, and he used to have his own version of that, and I don't think anyone's really played it as well as him. That's how I got into it, and Seamus was the first accordionist I really heard.
That's interesting.
A right nice guy, Seamus, too. Lovely guy.
Yeah, and incredibly talented.
And it's strange because we've got a guest coming on from America in a couple of weeks' time, box player, and one of his big influences is Seamus O'Sullivan as well, through the Irish dancing. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll come back to the recordings and that, because there's a wee thing I'm going to want to speak to you about USBs and things, but we'll speak about that in a minute. Do you fancy giving us a wee tune?
I can do, yeah.
What do you fancy giving us? What, nothing political?
So, I thought I'd play you something I composed during lockdown, and it is on the CD. It was a tune, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek with the title, but many musicians have been using the platform PayPal for taking donations or merchandise and so forth. And I thought it would be nice to compose a tune called the PayPal Polka.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Take it away, sir.
Fantastic.
Whoa.
Fantastic.
Fantastic, that man. Brilliant. Leonard, that's great.
Thank you very
That's
much.
superb.
Fantastic. I should
I always get jealous. I think I say this every week, but I always get jealous when we've got musicians on, fiddlers and box players, just with the range of the instrument compared to the pipes. You know, you've got so much more range of notes and dynamics. You know, I love it.
Yeah, but you can totally appreciate what you can do on the pipes as well. You know, I was sitting listening to you earlier on, and you know, the feeling is mutual.
That's lovely.
Leonard, I think I have to tell you this just now. We've got the highest viewing figures for a live show going just now that we've had yet.
Oh,
so there you go. So that's fantastic.
Great
There's
stuff.
wee comments coming up there. You can see things like that. Is that Tom Alexander's accordion?
It isn't, no.
No.
Tom Alexander had two goalers, one of which Nickel McLaren has, and another one which is in the lovely Shetland. So.
Oh, is that the one in mid-yell? Ah.
I'm not sure where it might be, but.
Okay. Well, that's brilliant. When we get back to that, 2012 was a big year for you because you won the Scottish Championships at Perth.
Yeah.
The second man from the north of Englandshire to win the Scottish Championships.
That's right, yeah. Very great experience. Robert Whitehead, the first in 1968. And of course, when I was growing up, it was always told to me, well, if you want to make it in this music business, then you're going to have to win the Perth Accordion Championship, the All Scotland. And it was sort of told to me, you know, there's only ever been one English winner ever. And that sort of spurred me on a bit to put in the effort. And I actually went to Robert originally just for him to give me some advice. He did, and I went in the first year, and that's when I met adjudicator Michael Phillip, and he gave me some great tips. And then I went to Gary Sutherland for a few lessons another year, and then I got into the final of the Accordion Championship, and I finished sixth that year. So I was brand new to the final, and I finished sixth. And then I had a word with Michael Phillip. He said, come and see me in the April. Went and seen him in the April, had a lesson with him then. He gave me the set, and we discussed it. And then right through from April to October, I would be practicing that set. And I think I met him another twice before I actually went in for the competition itself. And then so from 2011, finished sixth. And then in 2012, went to number one.
Fantastic. Great show. Great show. And
that goes to the testament of Michael Phillips' tuition.
Yeah. Well,
but that actually, just to brush on something that you said there, that's a massive step that you took to achieve that, because to go to different people to get tuition, you need to be very open to feedback. You need to be very open to knowing that there is other stuff that your music or your sound or your style, technique, you know, you've got to be open to that kind of criticism, which probably most musicians, I'll put myself in that category, where you're kind of happy where you are. I'm not a competing piper, but I don't know if I'm always open to suggestions, you know. I'm not, I know that.
What like tuning them and things.
But no, but that's so 100% deserved, like the second Englishman to win that title in Perth, and for you to be told that to make it in this industry you need to win Perth and to do all these steps and links, it just shows you sixth one year and then winning it the next go. It shows you that's the hard steps you have to take. Actually,
I think one of the things I really admire about you, Leonard, though, is there's that side to it, the competing side that we all know is very technical, but you also are an entertainer. On the other hand, now you're great. You're one of the funniest entertainers and best musicians I've seen on stage. And when you go on stage, you then play material as well, and very, very well, but you play stuff that people want to hear as well.
And it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very important that you play what the audience want. The audience are the ones who are paying the money to see you, and it's a firm belief of mine that you give the audience what they want, and then there's no complaints, there's no problems. I don't have a problem with playing any tune, like you said on a previous show, Peter. You don't mind playing anything that somebody has asked you to play. It's a request. I see it as an honour to play that tune for that person. And whenever I'm doing a show, the whole program reflects that audience that's going to be there. And the ability to change your program mid-show to allow that to happen is another quality that I think a lot of musicians do have. You know, and which is probably what makes them popular. There's tremendous amount of fantastic musicians on this scene, you know, but there are very few who can actually read an audience, and that's the challenge, you know. And if you do both, I think you've absolutely cracked it, you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've specialised. You've actually been promoting and running your own shows and bringing guests in for weekends and everything. You've been doing all this stuff, so you're seeing how it works, what the people want.
Yeah.
And because
do you have a specific venue? Do you have a specific venue and a set for that, or a performance for that specific venue, and do you have a completely different one to tour with if you do it that way?
So what I would say is that when you're traveling around the country, you've got areas of that you can sort of feel what sort of music they go for. So you could go to an accordion club on the West Coast, and you'd know that they would be looking for a sort of 80% Scottish program with 20%, you know, from around the world, if you like, you know, because that's what they like. But if you, and Peter will verify this, when I went to Shetland, and I've been various times at the Accordion and Fiddle Club, I tend to play such a wide variety of music from start to finish, so that you've been everywhere. And at the end of the night, people come up and say, God, that was great, you know, and it's a fantastic feeling. But I would also get the same from a club up the West Coast who they realised that maybe pipe music isn't my strongest forte, but I've actually went and I've picked out some nice pipe music to play to them, you know. And I think I think if you have respect for your audience, the respect comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and then one of the things you've done a bit of a theme at points with your own show, but then you've done the tributes to various artists.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. That was, like, say, Tom Alexander that was mentioned earlier. You done a whole set that Tom would have done, you know.
Yeah. Well, Tom was my idol, so you know, or one of them. Number one.
I mean, incredible musician, Tom.
Yeah,
incredible
very
musician.
Underrated,
Yeah, because of the Alexander Brothers thing, he was kind of lost in the sea of what that was, you know.
Yeah, of course. But no, Tom was a special accordionist, and I just felt that when he announced his retirement, we should do something for him, and I put on a special event at the Salutation in Perth, and I mean it was completely sold out, and we actually recorded an album of Tom's music played in the way Tom would play it if he had a band at his disposal. And that was very, very well received as well. And I know Tom, that was every time I went to meet him after that, I went and visited him a couple of times in the care home that he was in, and he would always remember that special day, even though he couldn't remember lots of what he'd done. He could remember that one special day, and I thought that was really lovely.
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you done quite a few of these, didn't you, for different artists?
Yeah. Well, Ian McPhail and Brian Griffin, 40 years as a two accordionists playing together, and I felt that was another landmark occasion for these two musicians, and also Davey Stewart, 65 years in show business. So we felt that was interesting to do for Davey. Again, another underrated accordionist, really, really talented on second box. And as you might have heard, he did a broadcast for his 80th birthday as a lead accordionist. And he had several members of the All-Star Band at his disposal for that. And it was really, really nice to see that he got his go, you know.
Yeah, I think when you mentioned that there, and you just happened to say the All-Star Band, Leonard calls his band the All-Star Band, and they are All-Stars. The guys you have working with you are incredible musicians, and it must be great playing with them. And I noticed you just done that live broadcast, didn't you? A live broadcast for the BBC from in Glasgow, and you had to do a socially distanced one, and you sent me a picture of that, and you were about 30 feet along a stage nearly or something.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I'm not going to.
But it sounded amazing. It sounded like no different. It was great.
Yeah, we were very happy with the sound that we got, and tremendous credit to the BBC, and obviously honoured to be asked to do such a thing with the current situation. We hadn't had a live gig since February at the Blair Gallery Town Hall. That was our last show that we did as the band. And only for the CD, meeting up at the end of July to do the CD. Apart from that, we had no rehearsal. We hadn't played with each other, on stage. So it was a brand new thing for us to go back to, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. And once we got settled, we just played our hearts out. Really,
I've noticed a couple of gigs that I've had, weddings and funerals that I've had. There's been a few and then Thursday actually piping at the end of the salmon fishing season up at Kenmore. It's fantastic to get back out and just have a tune with people again. You know, I've done a lot, and most of my years been teaching kids and adults.
Sounds a bit fishy, that gig.
How did you?
It's a hard old gig, this on a Sunday, but it's great the feeling that you get playing music and seeing, because I notice it with the pipes when you do get that link, and it's usually I see it with kids quite a lot. Kids are mesmerised when a pipe band marches by, or you'll get old people tapping away, or you'll see and somebody's fingers going that you'll know they're a piper, and just to have that link, you know, they're zoned in. It's a great thing, and it's such a thing I've missed this year. But it must have been great to sit on the stage with the band and knowing that you were putting down a bit of music again.
Yeah, it was filmed as well, of course. So the BBC have that footage to use at their will. But no, it was a great experience, and we were delighted with all the comments that came back about the broadcast. And of course, I've seen some lovely comments tonight about people who are enjoying the CD. So thank you very much indeed.
I was just going to say that when you were playing the PayPal polka there, the amount of comments that were coming in, people saying that your CD is absolutely fantastic. So there's recommendations for all you other peoples out there that's looking for something really good.
Yeah.
One thing with that as well. So remember Leonard's website there, folks, and go on and have a look. But you've got about 12 CDs or something now, haven't you, or something like that? You've got a lot of CDs.
Yeah, recorded 12 CDs over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And 3
Yep.
DVDs, of course.
Yeah.
So when it got to about 10 albums on, I decided that I would, and this will bring up your point about the USB.
Yes. Yes.
I decided to bring out a USB with 10 albums, which is now, of course, going to be 12 albums. And I think it's been a really, really great idea. I think I was the first person to do that on the scene. And,
Yeah, well,
a few have followed on, and I think it's a great idea. And I welcome anybody who wants to try it, because we're moving into the 20s now, and CD players are not in cars, as you say.
No, that's right. We're having no CDs in cars or that, and then the USB stick, you can stick it into most digital tellies and everything now, and just play or anything, computers, anything. So that's something that's really amazing. And I think people can buy certain tracks as well, can't they, if they want, off the albums?
Yeah, well, one of the things I did, obviously being full-time and busy most of the week, I never really had time to look at a website properly. And I had my designer who designs all my CDs and DVDs and artwork, Gary Hogg. He had my website for a long time. He's had a little bit of ill health recently, and during lockdown, it was my approach to build a new website. And the one I picked on bandzoogle.co.uk really is great for musicians, because it allows you to list all of your tracks and add a download button, so you can actually download each individual track or whatever you want, your favorite tracks, anything. So
that's a great idea.
Really is a because not everybody likes a full CD. I mean, most of the CDs I have listened to in the past, you know yourself, there'll be 4 or 5 tracks when you go, oh, that's just absolutely brilliant, and the others are good, but they're not like the 5.
That's right.
Not what you're looking for. It's not exactly what that's in your head at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Because if somebody, for instance, didn't like extra space, they just don't download extra space. That's it.
But on the other hand, as well, and I think that's a brilliant idea. But one of the things I've done since lockdown is I've reviewed all. I got given about 60 CDs from a presenter who doesn't present anymore. And he said, "You'll like that. You'll like this." And there's 6 CDs, one-offs, demos, stuff that I would never have bought. But in every CD, there was a track, or there was something that I've revisited that has been interesting. It's been great.
Yeah.
So you fancy giving us another wee tune? By the way, Leonard, what would Donald Trump say about all of this?
Well, okay. Before the China virus, and let's be honest, the reason I call it the China virus is because it started in China. And we were doing an incredible job, everybody. We had huge crowds, huge. And you won't have seen them, of course, because the media are corrupt. They never showed them properly. And it was all fake news. But we've been doing a tremendous job since lockdown. And believe me, with your help and others, there's many others, I don't know a lot of them, but I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful, because we're going to make Scottish dance music great again. Thank you.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it.
Brilliant.
No, very good. What you fancy?
This is a selection of jigs that I put on the new album. It's called Das South End Jigs, because it starts with the tune The Drunken Pot. No, the Das South End. And I noticed that you've got a few listeners from Canada.
Yep.
I love the people from Canada, and there's some Canadian jigs in there. So I hope you enjoy this little set of tunes.
Please, well. Great, Leonard. Fantastic.
Absolutely superb. First class. First class.
Really good. You can see by the comments yourself there, Leonard, that people are very, very much enjoying themselves tonight.
Honestly, the tremendous support we've received during lockdown and before lockdown was just amazing. And it's down to the people. The people make the decision, and it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
We also have a YouTube channel as well, the Tartan Tunes YouTube channel, and Leonard let us use one of his tracks on it, and on it you're playing an ABBA medley, the one you gave us, which is fantastic. When you were talking about being versatile, you just play anything, and you've also got your own YouTube channel, haven't you, that people can go on and subscribe to that as well, can they?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
type in Leonard Brown accordion or Leonard Brown, and something will come up. Sure.
Yeah, and I'd highly. You've got a lot of stuff. You've got a lot of stuff on there. There's Martin Donohoe from Ireland. Congratulations to Leonard on his engagement.
I know. I'm marrying me accordion.
Is there something you've not told us? Or?
Definitely not. That man's a crackerjack.
We had him on the show one night. It was quite interesting.
Aye.
He's a bit depressed, poor old Martin, just now. They're going into kind of lockdown over there again. He's a bit fed up of it all. You know.
Well, apparently he's coming into a lot of money because he's been obviously wears glasses, and apparently the Republic of Ireland have announced that wearing masks and glasses at the same time has been very, very bad for people, and they might be entitled to some condensation.
Yes. Well, he'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah.
We mentioned, on a serious note, this is something I'm pretty interested in. Yeah, you had a great year in 2012. That was the year you won Perth, I'm right in saying. But was that the same year that you did your degree?
Yes, I finished my degree at Newcastle University. It was a Bachelor of Honours degree in music. It was predominantly classical music, but I took piano as my first instrument in year 1. And then in year 2 and year 3, I changed my instrument to the accordion, and I was able to do my final recital on accordion. And Malcolm Ross on drums, who's played with me now for 10 years, it was meant to be our the 10th anniversary in November. We had a lovely tour lined up, and that unfortunately got cancelled. But Malcolm came down all the way from Arbroath and played at the recital, and we actually got the second highest mark that they'd ever given at the university. So, you know, for somebody playing the accordion, I think that was pretty good.
Karen, I don't know if you're back there just now. Can you see Martin Donohoe's comment that he's been up? Could you put it up to let the lads see it?
Very good.
What a matinee performance.
Yeah. How old were you in 2012, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just interested.
21.
All right, so that's fine. I didn't know if your degree if you went back to study, because you mentioned about being a level 8 piano player before you went to the accordion. So I didn't know if you'd done the degree outside of that later on in life.
No, I was 11 when I took the accordion up, and it was coincided with the piano when I got my grade 8 when I was 15.
Right. Okay.
Did you not play out in Spain for a while or somewhere like that in a piano bar or somewhere?
No.
No.
I don't think I've done that, but I have been to Spain 3 times to play. I was with a band called the Happy Cats for 6 years.
Oh yes,
and, we did 3 little festivals over in Spain. So it was really, really nice. Up in the mountains, it was absolutely beautiful.
Tell us, what's the funniest or the best fun gig you think you've ever done yet?
That's a tough question. I don't know about a fun gig, but I would say on scales of gigs, I really love doing the theatres. I think the theatres bring out the best side of me, because I'm able to do everything and organise everything myself, and I know. And one of the great things about theatre shows is that you can employ other acts, which I love doing. I love employing the best acts in the field. So you know, we'll have different people, and wherever we go geographically, I try to incorporate a local, you know, act.
Brilliant.
Who's popular with the audience.
Give
them a, you know.
Have you done, because you've been over to Ireland doing the show as well, have you?
Yes, I've been over to Ireland and done the show, yeah.
Yeah. So do you employ some local Irish acts when you're there, kind of stuff? You know?
Yeah, we've had an Irish dance act. We've had a ballad group, 4 young musicians. They were absolutely fabulous, and they sang, they played instruments, and I think the ages were only between 12 and 15. You know, and to me, giving somebody younger an opportunity that they wouldn't necessarily get, especially in this day and age, you know, it's a great feeling. And I've done similar things with sort of Kyle Rowan on pipes. Kyle has been on a couple of my CDs, and he actually was at the Tom Alexander event, and when we played Highland Cathedral, he was at the back, and when we went into the key change, he came in and walked right along and into the crowd, and that was just an eye-watering moment, you know.
Brilliant. I think I'm right in saying Kyle was, I think Gordon Shand was using
Yes.
Kyle, I think. Yeah. A great opportunity for a young fella. I know some of the folk that I'm teaching, some of the young kids, they've got into the National Youth Pipe Band, and the National Youth Pipe Band have opened up another tier this year where there's a junior version, like an entry sort of for like young kids, or just like a stepping stone to get into it. And there's three kids that I know that have got into that. And one of the parents have sent me the set list that they're going to be working with, and the tunes that they've got, the tunes that they're playing, modern stuff, old stuff, and just the opportunities for these young kids now, especially with everything, like being able to do so much digitally. Unreal what the opportunities for them. Is going to be exciting to see.
And of course that it goes from theatre shows, but it also goes back to accordion and fiddle clubs as well. I mean, I was doing a gig up in Forest Accordion and Fiddle Club, which I think at the time it's the largest crowd I've ever played to an accordion and fiddle club, 230 odd people. And this particular night, Malcolm was headed away on holiday, so I had to do the gig on my own. And I went up there, and towards the end of the night, I'd been watching the local players, and I spotted this young lad. He was only 12-year-old Liam Mcintosh, and he plays the drums. And I thought it would be really nice if I could get this lad up on drums to play a few sets with me just to finish off the night. And you know, it went down a bomb. You know, and that's one of the things about, you know, relations with the audience is you have to hit the spot, and I felt I did that night, and we've become great friends, and we've actually had a few tunes during lockdown. You know, and another thing with the lockdown, of course, you can't get away from the fact that one of the leading highlights of lockdown has been tunes in the house. You know, absolutely has been world class for getting all ages of people, all, you know, from amateur players to professionals, and mixing the two, which we haven't seen that for a long time. You know?
No, I haven't.
And that has just been remarkable. I mean, and we got a great response with the 4-string polka that we put up, and it was absolutely wonderful to have the tune again with Maggie Adamson. I think it was about 3 years since I had the tune with Maggie, and delighted that you
it was great fun. Yeah, no, these things, it's opened up a lot, and that's one of the things we're doing with this show as well. We're trying to get people that are coming out, say maybe just finished their degree, getting them on the show, giving them a bit of exposure kind of style thing to get going a wee bit. Kind of style thing. Somebody sent me a personal message there and said, can you ask Leonard to play another tune, please, before he goes tonight? I think they think we're going to cut you off. Would you mind giving them another tune? It's anything you fancy. You don't have to play Scottish. Anything you want, sir. Whatever you fancy.
Okay, well, I'll maybe give you some sort of Glenn Miller or something, you know.
All right, brilliant, fantastic.
Yes,
Woo-hoo.
absolutely brilliant. World class. That is great.
Talented man. Well, Leonard, listen, thank you so much for giving up some time for us on the Sunday night. Brilliant. I was wanting to say, any wee projects up your sleeve? Any plans just now, or is it just a bit difficult to plan just now?
No, I've got no plans for about 10 or 11 months now. So I think I'm going to try and start back up playing towards the end of next year. I don't think anything's going to really happen between now and the middle of next year. So it's very unfortunate the way things are, but we just have to keep surviving. And all my musician friends out there, I wish you all the very best. It is very, very hard. And this is the time when we come together and support each other. And I think it's fantastic to be invited on such a programme. Thanks very much to you both.
No bother. We're delightful.
Well said, Leonard.
Delighted to have you. So please remember, folks, if you haven't got Leonard's CDs or DVDs or USBs, please go on his website, www.leonardbrown. Wasn't it music?
LeonardBrownAccordion.co.uk.
Well, LeonardBrownAccordion.co.uk. There it is. There's the merchandise. This could all be yours if you go online.
That's great, and a great range is a great range of music on all your CDs. Actually, there's something in there. And you mentioned that about CDs where there's only a few tracks. I've been listening to quite a lot of your stuff this week, and it's a journey. The whole thing's well thought of. Like, it's been put together very well. You can tell there's been a lot of thought went into the production of every CD. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to get a red suit like yours someday.
Well, you can have it, Peter, because it doesn't fit me now. I lost 3.5 stone.
Well, it still wouldn't fit me.
Actually, before I lost all the weight, I went to the doctors because I wanted to find out if I had actually a problem, because I wasn't eating a lot at that time, but I was putting weight on. So I went, and the doctor says it's going to be very, very hard for you to lose weight because you've got one of those overactive
Thyroid.
knife and fork. And that was what the problem was. So I've lost 3.5 stone, which is great, and I had to buy a whole new wardrobe. Haven't bought any clothes yet, but I bought the wardrobe.
Right, I've went the other way, Leonard. I've went the other way. I've piled it on this lockdown. So I've had I've had sunburn from a fridge. This year, the fridge light. I've had a terrible time in the fridge.
What about a padlock?
No, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. It's
I'll borrow the suit. The suit will fit me. I'll do a show with the suit on.
Well,
do you know, Leonard, I lost £1 once, and one of my friends said that was like the Queen Mary losing a deck chair. Anyway, Leonard, listen, thanks very much. Folks, please go on and support Leonard. Buy CDs, DVDs. You will not be disappointed.
And also subscribe to his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Leonard, thank you so much, sir. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay safe and keep these fingers moving.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you, Leonard. Thank you.
Right, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Good night, mate. Great. Magic night again.
Great crack again, eh?
Really good. Brilliant. A real varied show tonight. I've really enjoyed that.
That's been good.
Really, really good. And that's what we're trying to do, just come up with new wee ideas, and having Jean and John on earlier, and then Leonard. What a great mixture of stuff tonight there.
Brilliant stuff. And we've got some really good guests coming up in the next few weeks as well. So it's picking up pace. It's good. And you said tonight that we had the highest.
The highest live. It peaked at the highest live.
Do you know what I've noticed in the show? Because I follow Sandy Brechin, I follow Bob Stewart, I follow a number of people, Will Pound. They all do shows, and I follow them quite often. And I never last the whole show. But there's people that are on this show from the start to the end. I see Chris Brown on, Ali Meek, loads of folk that are on for the whole. So it's great. Joyce Dalrymple, she's on.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're enjoying having you there, because there'd be no point in us doing it if you weren't there. So
I couldn't put up with Peter by myself. So thanks.
No, we'll have to have something.
Thanks for getting me through my Sunday nights.
Even though I steal his jokes, so thanks.
I've stopped telling jokes now, actually.
Yeah, so have I. But that's that. Anyway, ladies
John
and gentlemen,
Selby,
thank you very much.
Let me just say something quickly, Peter. John Selby, that's come up there. My dad, I was up helping my old man today fix his car, and he was talking very highly of John, who he used to work with.
Oh, brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
There's Joe and Orkney, a faithful fan. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, fair enjoyed it. Hi, Sheila Bain. It's been really, really great fun being with you again. We're nearly at 2 hours. This show's getting longer and longer, but never mind.
Yes,
passes a Sunday night, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the other thing was go onto our YouTube and subscribe to it now, because there's a lot. All the broadcasts are on right from day dot, and there's lots of our guests are giving us a video now, so there might be something new for you to watch on there as well. So just Google Tartan Tunes.
Yeah.
Google. Go in and search Tartan Tunes in the YouTube channel and subscribe to that one, and like our Facebook page as well if you want, and you'll get notifications when there's stuff coming up. I think that's about it for tonight. Have you got anything else you'd like to say?
I think just thinking about the show tonight and things being different, one thing that was well received, or the feedback that I've had that was well received, was that we did a question and answer night, and we did it against each other at the start.
Yeah.
So maybe one Wednesday night when we introduce the guests, we could do
another one.
Do it and let the audience ask.
Ooh. Yeah, why not?
There's Peter. In fact, there's Peter. I want to get Peter on the show.
All right. Okay.
And I'll tell you about Peter.
That's you been warned, Peter. There we go.
Yes.
So anyway, brilliant. I hope John's remembered to let the Doug back in.
Aye, or they've not created a war.
Yeah. Right, okay, we better go. So thanks very much, folks. Thanks, Karen, backstage. Thank you for
Karen.
keeping it all together. And you can tell us off later if we've done anything. Thanks, folks, for joining us. We'll see you through the middle of the week to tell you who's next week's guest, sir. And we'll take it from there. Can't wait.
Aye, looking
So
forward
it's
to it.
good night from me.
And a good night from him. Hey!
I got one. Got one.
Well done, Peter.